welcome to the second beginner's practice. Today we're going to need a couple of blankets, 2 yoga blocks and a belt. So join me back on the mat in a second with your props. Welcome back. So the first pose we're going to do is Adho Mukha Virasana, forward hero pose. So for this I'm going to show a few modifications for people that have a little bit of difficulty sitting back on the heels. It might feel too tight in the Achilles, or the toes might hurt a little bit. So what you can do is have a blanket, fold that out on your mat, and make a little roll at the back. Make that roll as big or as small as you need to be able to sit on your heels. So it's giving you a little space for the feet. So you're going to have your big toes together and your knees apart. And then if it's tougher for the knees to sit back, you can put a blanket under the buttocks, between the buttocks and the heels. You can make that blanket bigger. You could even put 2 blankets under there. If this still hurts the knees a bit, you could put a blanket all the way into the knees and another blanket on top and sit back on that. Alright, so these are a few options. So now you're going to sit back, bring the buttocks down, hands by the side, press down with your fingertips and lift the trunk, lift the side ribs, roll the shoulders back, reach the elbows back. Keep descending the buttocks down towards the heels. Sitting tall. And then you come forward. The higher you sit, the more height you need for your hands. So the higher you sit, use your blocks. And if you sit taller than this, raise your blocks up. Press your hands, lift the sternum, lift the chest, roll the inner arms forward, and press the outer hips and the buttocks back as you walk the blocks forward. Reaching the blocks forward. Extend out through your arms, reach your hands away. Let the head go down. And like I said, the taller you sit on your heels, the more height you're going to need for your hands. So you can lift the blocks up. So that you can, if you look at my lower back, my upper back, you can reach the chest forward and the spine will move in to the body, in towards the chest. You can support the head, the block, or have an extra blanket. Press your fingers down, roll the inner arms up towards the ceiling. If your shoulders are tight, go a little wider with the hands. Press the index finger, the knuckle of the index and the thumbs down. Roll the inner arms up. Chest moving forward towards the chin. And then walk back. Come back to sitting. Good. Now take your blanket out. And join me for the next pose. Welcome back to the mat. Samastiti, standing tall as a mountain. So come to the top of your mat, have your feet hip width for today. So in this pose, it's a way to connect to your body, to connect down into the earth. Feel the legs, feel the pelvis, feel the chest. Get a sense of what the different parts of your upper body, the pelvis, the lower body is doing. So lift your toes up, spread the toes, and then press the big toes down, spread the other toes, press those down. Connect your feet into the mat, inner feet, outer feet, inner heels, outer heels. Firm the legs, lift the kneecaps. Even if you look down, your inner ankle bones are lifting, your inner arches are lifting. And take the buttocks down. At the same time, press your thighs back and roll your thighs in, so the inner thighs go back. Roll your shoulders back, reach down through your fingertips, and inhale, stretch your arms up without moving your pelvis, your thighs. Press down through your heels, lift up through your fingertips, lifting the side ribs. Exhale down. And we're going to interlace the hands, turn the palms out, press out through all your fingers, but draw your little fingers, your thumbs back towards you. Draw your upper arms into your shoulders and press the outer arms, the elbows together. Keeping the works of the legs, stretch your arms up. Inhale, get taller. Heels pressing down, wrists, hands lifting up. Spine coming, upper spine coming into the back. Breathe, lifting the chest. Exhale down. Change the interlace. Other index and thumb on top. Turn the palms out. Spreading across the palms. Drawing the upper arms into the shoulders. Pressing the elbows, the upper arms towards each other. Arms are strong. Inhale and lift up. From the heels pressing, lift up through your wrist and your fingers. Reach up, get tall, lift the side ribs, lift the back ribs. Inhale, exhale and release your arms. So for Trikonasana, we're going to need 2 blocks. So stand in the center of your mat. Now with your feet together, spread those toes again. Tops of the buttocks down. Find those same actions, movements that we just did. Thighs back. Inner thighs rolling back. Inner knees rolling back. And firm the legs. Feel that connection from the feet up through your legs to the pelvis, to the lift of your chest. If you have knee problems, just walk your legs apart. If not, jump your legs wide. Just have a look at your feet. Make sure they're on the same line. Stretch out through your fingers at first. Roll the shoulders down. Now bring your hands to the hips. Now find those same movements. So front thighs pressing back. Inner thighs rolling back. Tops of the buttocks going down. Front of the body lifting up. And then turn your right foot out. Press into the back foot. Keep the belly going towards the back foot, not the foot that just turned out. Turn that foot in. Turn the left foot out. Press into the back heel. Turn the belly back to that back foot. Turn the feet forward, pointing forward. Press the outer feet, outer heels, press the big toe mounts. And again, turn the right foot out. Make that turn come from the inner thigh. Roll the inner thigh out. Press into the back heel, turn the belly back towards the back foot. Stretch your arms out. Be firm in your leg. Draw up through both legs. Reach over, swing your top hand up. Other hand on the block, and you can lift that block up. Reach up through your top hand. Extend from the back heel, pressing to the crown of your head. Draw up through the front leg. Inhale, come up. Now stand again in Tadasana. Firm your legs. Inhale. Jump or walk your legs wide. Have a look. Make sure your feet are aligned, toes turning forward. Stretch out through your fingertips, your thumbs, your little fingers. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Firm your legs. Press the outer feet. Press the big toe mounts. And now turn your left foot out. Make that turn come from the inner thigh, rolling to the outer thigh. Press into the back heel. Turn the belly forward. Exhale. Come over onto the block. Keep your shoulder in line with the legs. Stretch up through the top hand. Reach up. Draw up through this leg. Press into the back heel. Extend through the crown of your head. Turn, reach up through the top arm. Turn your chest, the belly forward. Inhale, come up. Bend your leg, turn the feet, jump or walk your feet together. Tadasana. Now for this next pose, Pasvottanasana, you don't need any blocks. You just need the wall. So be close to the wall. Have your hands on the hips. Walk your feet wide, not as wide as before. Now turn your left foot in deeply. Turn your right foot out. So let's first do the work of the legs. So my back foot, left foot, is turning in a lot more than before. And my inner thigh is rolling back. The inner knee is rolling back. So this hip can come forward, right? And then I'm pressing my front foot, inner foot, drawing up through both sides of the leg. Drawing that leg into the hip. Hands on the lower part of my spine. Moving the tail forward. Lifting the front body up, rolling the shoulders back. And as I do that, this leg might want to bend. Press the thigh back. Press the thigh back. Lift the chest. And come forward. We'll go to the other side. Hands on the hips. Turn your right foot in deeply. Turn the left foot out. So first get the understanding of the work of the legs. That's the base of the pose, that's our anchor that's keeping us stable. So inner legs, rolling back. So the back of the thighs are spreading. The outer hip comes forward, right? It's not back, it's coming forward. So I need a good turn of that back foot. Front foot, inner foot is pressing. I'm drawing up through the leg, drawing that leg into my hip. Bring your thumbs on the base of your spine. Press the tail forward. Lift the front body up. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back. And this back leg, see that it's pressing back. Take a breath. Lift the chest. And come to the front. Join your feet together. Now we're going to do this again, but coming forward a little bit using the wall. You're going to start with the right foot to the wall. So a little bit away from the wall, about a foot's distance. Take your feet wide. Turn your left foot in. Turn your right foot towards the wall. You can have your heel and heel aligned. Press the back outer heel. Rotate that inner thigh, inner knee back. Hip coming forward. Draw up through the front leg. Press the inner foot. Hands on the tail, base of your spine. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulders back. Now stretch your arms up. Inhale. Now come forward onto your wall. Press your fingers into the wall to keep drawing up through this leg. Draw that leg into the hip. Reach your hands up the wall. Look a little forward towards the wall and bring that upper spine forward and lifting it. Forward into the chest. Press into the back heel. Roll that inner leg back. Both legs firm. Breathe. And come up. And let's go to the other side. So turn. So your other foot is facing the wall. Take your feet apart, hands in the hips. Turn now your right foot in. Turn your left foot to the wall. You have about a foot distance from the wall. Your heels are aligned. Heel to heel alignment. Now press the back foot, outer heel pressing, rolling that inner thigh back. Outer hip coming forward. Front foot, inner foot pressing. Draw up through the leg. Draw the leg into the hips. Back thigh, press it back. Now, hands on the base of your spine, or thumbs, pressing the tail forward, lifting the chest, lifting the navel, roll the shoulders back. And then be firm in that front leg. Reach your arms up. Reach your arms up. Be firm in that front leg. Come forward. Place your hands on the wall. Press your fingertips into the wall to help you draw up through that front leg. Look forward towards the wall. Bring the upper spine, the spine between the shoulder blades, up and forward. Up and forward. Press into the back heel. Roll that inner leg back. And then inhale. Bring your hands back to the hips. Turn your feet and join the feet together. Now join me for this next pose. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. So have two blocks. Come back to the wall and put your blocks against the wall. We did this pose in the first session as well. Now press your hands, all the knuckles, into the block. Have your base of the hand against the block so it doesn't slide against the edge. Roll your inner elbow creases forward, the inner arms forward, and feel how that's giving you a spreading across the chest. And then take the navel up to the spine. Right? So not arching, but navel to the spine, buttocks going back. Tuck your toes and come up. And if you have tight hamstrings, you can come up with bent legs and press your hands, lift your fingers even, press your hands, lift up to your armpits, lift those outer hips up and back. And then straighten the legs, keeping as you best can, keeping the chest towards the legs as you straighten them. Be on your toes, lift up from the heels to your sit bones. And even in this pose, press the thighs back, the shins back. Press the inner thighs back. And then come down. Take a breath. Sit back, just take a breath. Move your blocks out of the way. Now having the blocks gives a little bit of height. If we have tight hamstrings, it facilitates the pose a little bit. Let's try it without the blocks though. So you're going to turn your hands, you're going to turn your thumbs and your index fingers against the wall. Press those against the wall. Have your hands the same width as your shoulders, not narrower, same as your shoulders. Now the hands are turned out, so the inner elbow creases are coming forward already. The inner arms are coming forward. Tuck your toes. Now stretch your legs. Press your hands. Lift up to your outer hips. Take the outer hips back. Buttocks up and back. Be on your toes. Press the thighs back, the shins back, the knees back. And lift up from your heels to your sit bones. Deepen that hip crease. Rolling the inner arms, the elbow creases towards the ceiling. Now keeping that lift of the hips. Lower your heels down towards the floor. It should be very difficult to get those heels down. Lift your toes up. Reach the heels down. Let the head go. And come down. And if I'm holding this pose for too long, come out of it. Take a breath. Do it again. All right. Turn around. We'll do Adho Mukha Svanasana one more time. So sit with your back to the wall. And now come forward on all fours again. Have your feet tucked under. See how I have a little bit of space. I don't have my feet all the way up against the wall. A little bit of space to the wall. Press, spread the fingers, press the knuckles down. Roll those inner elbow creases forward. Spread across the chest. Spread the collarbones. Lift the navel up towards the spine. And now come up. See where your heels land. So you want the heels on the wall. You want the toe mounts on the mat. Heels on the wall, toe mounts on the mat. Now as before, press your hands. Lift the outer hips up. Reach up and back. Deepen that hip crease. Let the head go. Press the heels into the wall. Use the wall. Take your thighs back. And draw up through the legs. Draw those legs into the hip sockets. Breathe. And come down. And if you need to rest here, go back into Adho Mukha Virasana. Hands forward, and you can rest. You can rest your arms. You put a little blanket there. And come up. Okay, for this next pose, which is a seated pose, Dandasana, you're going to need 2 blankets. So I have my, this is called, we call this often in Iyengar yoga, the standard fold. So when we take our blankets off the rack, usually this is how we have it. So I'm going to fold this standard folded blanket one time, and I have 2 of those. I'm going to put those on top of each other. And then I'm going to have a belt. So come to sitting in Dandasana, staff pose. And Dandasana is the foundational pose for all the seated poses. Like Tadasana that we did, mountain pose, is the base pose for all the standing poses. So, Having a little height makes it easier if your hamstrings are tight. Make sure when you sit, so bring your hand under the hamstrings, draw your sit bone back, and have a little bit of the top of your hamstrings on the blanket. So now today just have your feet hip width and have a belt. So my belt is pretty long. You don't have to have such a long belt. And just put that belt around the feet. Now, just hold, draw your hands back until your shoulders come over your hips. So you're sitting straight up and down, not leaning back, not leaning forward, but straight up and down. And now press your thighs down, press the knees down, press the shins down. Spread your toes. And from your inner thighs, your inner groins, reach out into the belt through your big toe. And spread from the big toe across the ball of the foot to the little toe. And now draw from your little toe all the way up into your outer hips. Pressing the knees, the shins towards each other. Pressing the thighs down. Now pulling at the belt and lifting the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, lifting the sacrum up and bringing it forward. Bringing the sacrum forward. So we're not slouching. So that's why it's a little easier to sit higher if the hamstrings are tight. Now I want to show, for those people that are very tight, that action of moving the sacrum in is very difficult when you're tight, when you're very tight. So you can take your 2 blocks. You can have them under your knees. You do the same as before, bringing the chest back and over your hips. And now your knees are a little bit bent. So perhaps here you have a little bit better access to moving the sacrum in and up. Lifting the chest. So work from here. Work from here. If you're very tight, sit tall. Lift the chest. Draw your upper arms into the shoulders. Broaden across the chest. And release. So that's a way to work if you're very tight. Now sit here again. With the legs straight, press your feet into the belt, draw your hands back on the belt, sit tall, lift the chest, press the legs down. So the more you press the legs down, the taller you can sit. Now coming a little forward. Again, press the legs down. Move the sacrum in and up. Draw your arms back into the shoulders. Lift the chest. Maybe coming a little more forward. Maybe that's enough. If we start to come forward and we're doing this, then don't go as far. Don't go as far. Press the legs down, inner legs down. Lift the trunk as if you're pulling your torso up and out of the pelvis. And release. Come off your blankets. Open a blanket up. Have a blanket. Roll it up. Bring that under your knees. Join me in Savasana, the most important pose never to be skipped. So lie down, center of your mat, hold the mat. Lift, see how I'm lifting my pelvis a little bit, moving the tailbone towards the heels, lying back. And you can adjust the blanket here. So if your chin goes back, the more height you need under your blanket. Now hold the mat again, roll the inner arms up, bring the shoulder blade under. Same on the other side, bring the shoulder blade under, and then let the arms go. Roll the palms up, the inner arms up. Bring the palms about 30 degrees away from your body. And then slowly stretch one leg out. Now the blanket could be a little bit further away. Have your blanket under the knees. And let the legs go. Relax the legs. Don't have anything in the way of your arms and your hands. Exhale. Exhale and let your body relax. Descend into the floor. Release your belly, spread the belly. Let the shoulder blades release down. as you're ready, take a slightly deeper inhale, a full exhale. Bring your hands to your chest one by one. Bend your legs one by one. And slowly roll to your side. Roll to your right side, bringing your knees towards the chest. Support your head. Take a couple of breaths here. And slowly, with the head last, come up. Come to sitting. Cross your legs. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.